Howdy! This is a classic combo with spine. I originated this design about 4 years ago. It features a mandala pattern on the chest, Kenny style or modern shibori style on the body and arms, and a honeycomb or DNA tie on the back for the spine. Here's a little bit on the dyeing method of it. When I first started making these, I used to do the color a lot more random. There's a little over 100 ties on these, so I ended up figuring out a way to make it more structured to kind of give it a V pattern. I think I like it better that way. And here's the honeycomb tie. Probably one of my favorite parts of this whole thing. Kind of looks like a snakeskin or something.
Everyone underestimates me, but then they turn their back and I'm like, poof.
Welcome to another Tie-Dye Tuesday, where today we'll be making a geode tie-dye. The folding is relatively easy. You'll want to make a bunch of small bullseyes around the entire shirt. In the end, it should look like a blob with tentacles coming off of it. We made a bunch of shirts. And the dyes we will be using are Powerberry, Grape, Bluebird, Robin's Egg Blue, and Peony, all from Dharma Trading Co. For a geode tie-dye, you're going to sprinkle the dry powders all around those little bullseyes you made. The reason you don't wet the dyes is because this is going to be an ice dye. Before we put on the ice, add a little soda ash, and then go ahead and put your ice on. Make sure to cover every area of the shirt so that it melts evenly. It should look something like this, and 24 hours later it will look like this. Now we untie all of the little bullseyes and rinse out any excess dye. Before we throw it in the washing machine, we make sure that the water is running clear, and this is what the final result of this tie-dye was. All the patterns and colors melting nicely together. Here's a picture so you can see it better. Thank you.
I will never, and I mean never, forget the time that we had a male sub in high school and a girl asked to go to the restroom and he said sure. So she grabbed something and he heard a wrapper and he was like, oh, if you're gonna eat candy, you can do it in here, but you have to share with everyone in the class. And she was like, what? And he was like, well, I heard the wrapper. And she whips out a tampon, shoves it in his face, and she goes, you want to share? Oh, girl, savage.
I start with just a little pinch here. I pinch up the fabric slowly. I go all the way up. Pinch, pinch, pinch. A bunch of little pleats. And then I go all the way down as well. This is called the accordion fold. It's really not as hard as you would think. It's one of the easier ones. Rubber banding, it takes a lot more time. But then I have to get rubber bands all over it to get the fabric nice and tight. You don't want to go too tight with the rubber bands, but you do want it to like hold it in pretty solidly. And there we have it. And the dye part is really important for this style. I start with purple on this side and then I go through the rest of the rainbow. But then when I flip to the other side, I start with red and go through the rest of the rainbow. You have to not put the same color on each side. And then that gives that effect where it looks like the colors are moving into each other. That's super important for this DNA effect. But I hope that helped.